Welcome to the Deucecast Extra. We are here on our usual Tuesday night, and we're still treading water, trying to wait for an MCU show to start. So, of course, we wanted to do a rewatch of Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse in preparation for next week's Across the Spider-Verse. So, I have a cast and crew here of normal Deucecast Extra people you've seen, except one newbie. We'll mention him in a minute. But Rhett, it's been several weeks since you joined us. You didn't choose to join us for Fast X. I'm very surprised you're not in on the Fast franchise.
I haven't seen any, not any Fast movies.
Not even the cartoon.
You're smarter.
That was me in 2020. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll probably need to catch. I mean, I don't know. They don't look like the action seems good. Like I should,
Yes, there is good action. Yes, You're right about that. And I'll go ahead, since it's just like I'm just going in order as it is on my screen. We've got a newbie joining us. You would know him if you're in the Deucecast realm on the Discord or hanging out for the Deuces after show. That would be Aussie Nate. How is it going, buddy? Huge Spider-Verse fan.
Yeah, thanks. It's both an honor and a privilege to be part of the Deucecast Extra.
You know, Rhett has never said those words.
He's from Iowa, Rhett.
He's from Iowa.
It's an Iowan, Spider Dundee.
So awesome. Yeah, I mean, I'm really happy that you're joining. You can thank Garrison and Roth for saying that you're a huge fan of Spider. I would have never known that you're a huge fan of Spider-Verse, so I'm glad that you're here. I look forward to hearing your thoughts. Now, I saw on Letterboxd that you did do a rewatch recently. Still as good as you remember it?
Maybe even better. There was like,
yes,
more I thought about it, like before I watched it, there was like, it kind of dragged in the middle, but I didn't feel that this time. It was just bang, bang, bang. Great movie.
I agree. And then from an unspecified location, we have Garrison Rifen joining us.
Wow.
From his father's Star Wars room. Pretty neat. A lot of good stuff back there.
Yeah, not great air circulation in here, but otherwise, yeah, a lot of fun. I'm probably the only one on this panel that rewatched this movie 3 times.
Whoa!
Oh, you watched a different version, didn't you?
All 3 were different experiences. We can get into that, but yeah.
Interesting. Okay, we'll be getting into that.
Okay, interesting.
Jacob B. Roth. I like the reference there, the Spider-Verse reference. How's it going, buddy?
Good. You know, it works because my middle name also starts with a B.
Oh, wait, let me guess.
I hope
Jacob Bartholomew Roth?
Not Bartholomew. Nope. Bartholomew's on the right track. It's an older person name for sure.
Bartleby.
No.
Bathsheba.
There's a character in Westworld with the same name.
Oh.
Barnabas.
Oh.
No.
Barnabas? Oh, Bernard.
Bernard.
Yeah.
Bernard.
Yeah.
That was my grandpa's name.
A sexy middle name. I like that.
Sexy.
I only rewatched this once.
Well, yeah,
I watched the normal version.
Too,
I watched the normal version. Yes, I don't have time to be watching 13 versions of films.
I just watch whatever version Mikey gives me. I'm like, Mikey, give me the version. And
I had to buy this version that I gave Earl on eBay because I refused to buy something without a slipcover. So I paid way extra for it because it guaranteed me having
Look how
the
glorious
slipcover.
It is without a
Get
slipcover.
that away. I can't
so
stand
great
that.
without a slipcover.
Get that away.
It's so
I
shiny.
rented it from Amazon yesterday.
Well, Earl refuses to rent anything. Earl doesn't like.
Wait,
no, I'm just kidding.
What?
No,
that's not me.
Earl refuses to get Hulu.
Yes, that's right.
But it wasn't on
read all the
Hulu
movies.
anyways. It was nowhere. It was strange that it's not streaming anywhere.
I was in Michael's basement, and then he said, "Okay, Earl, you can finally." And he handed me.
You're not supposed to talk about that.
Shh.
You put it down in a bucket.
Yeah, there's a bucket.
I thought you guys watched it together and maybe like shared headphones.
We did.
Well,
we had the linked headphones.
Yeah.
And sharing a plate of spaghetti too.
Yeah.
You guys need to get that little splitter jack.
Oh yeah, I've got one of those.
They prefer ear to ear.
But we prefer sharing. Yeah,
more intimate, I guess.
Earl's always on my left. Don't know.
on your left.
Spider Earl, how's it going, buddy?
Oh, it's great. Oh, I'm so glad to be talking about this movie. I had so much fun with it, rewatching it. Good to be here. So glad to see those from down under here. And, well, I guess they're above us in Iowa. But good to have you, Nathan.
Uncle Brian, so excited that you're here. Just and I don't know why I just said what? Uncle Brian. He's my uncle. I don't know. He's the collective's uncle. That's his
Deucecast's uncle.
He's the Deucecast's uncle.
Hey, we need that. We need that.
Thank you for being here for the banter. I'm sorry that you've never seen this film because it is very good. This is just going to be sort of I have no schedule of how the conversation will go. So again, I'm just going to go in order. Rhett, what say you about Into the Spider-Verse?
It's all right.
Oh,
wait, gosh. I think people missed it. This was your first time seeing it.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I did miss that. I totally missed that.
Oh, yeah, no, he's not seen it.
Yeah, I watched it with my little one. She turns 8 Thursday.
Because it's a cartoon, right? Is that why?
Yeah.
Is that why?
And yeah, I thought it would be a nice time to, she doesn't watch very many movies with me at all. She doesn't like to sit through them. We watched it over 2 days. I rented it.
It's a very David Dollar way to do things.
Yeah. So, we watched half of it. And then she was like, I'm sleepy. And we watched the second half the next day. It's fine. I was entertained by it. I did not get particularly bored by any part of it. It's not exactly my jam. And it's hard to articulate why. I mean, it's not poorly made. It's not full of things that I hate. There was no overt messaging that just made me want to throw myself off a cliff. It just was good. It was pretty fun. At times, the animation was glorious, and at times it was a little too much. It was a little busy for me, I thought.
Okay.
A little hard to really get. It was just so much going on that you couldn't really enjoy any one piece of it, and be like, oh, that looks good. That's an interesting little scene there. It was just kind of sensory overload. I thought it was one of the worst soundtracks I have ever heard.
I love the soundtrack.
Awful. Score is fine. The soundtrack is.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Okay. That's just not your type of music.
No, it's not. It is not. It shouldn't be anyone's, really. It's just
come on now.
Look, I have the.
Sorry, it doesn't have meatloaf in it.
I am not a Post Malone fan,
ABBA.
But Sunflower is an absolute banger bop.
Yes, as the kids say. That's exactly right.
I don't think they combined them, but for this song I did because I don't know. It just makes me happy to listen to it. I don't listen to it often, but when I do, I'm like,
Post Malone. See, I don't even.
It's a banger.
Sound a little bit stupid, but
is that a type of cereal? What is a Post Malone?
Are you serious?
It was a little cartoony for me, and I know that sounds ridiculous, but just from a plot wise and like an action and like it very stylized. It was, it did not have any sort of a grounding in
You're making people very angry.
I think it's
Jacob's getting angry, sir.
It's mid.
That's right. Look, I mean, we've got.
I wanted it to be bussin', but it was mid.
Hey, but what did your younger daughter think of it? Did she like it?
Well, she liked it enough. So Thursday we're going to see the sequel, right?
Of course.
That is her birthday. I had a little bit of a problem because me and my oldest were going to skip out and go to the movies on her birthday. So this was an opportunity to say, would you like to also go with us on your birthday? So we're now in the clear. She gets to go and enjoy something because she did like it. She followed it really well and dug it.
Now
it's her 8th birthday, so yeah, she's.
This begs the question: is she going to be prepared to sit through 2 hours and 20 minutes of it?
She will be asleep. About the end of the first act. Yeah.
Well, this one. Well, you're right. Yeah, this one doesn't start.
There's a lot of swirling action. It's going to be loud.
Yeah, no, she'll check out. She's going to check out absolutely, and I'll have to carry her out. At the end.
I feel you.
And people will wonder.
Earl's going to carry Michael out too. So.
That's right. Well, that's just for fun. Yeah. The juxtaposition to Rhett's opinion is Aussie Nate's opinion. So Aussie Nate, in your rewatch, you said maybe you like it even more than you liked it when you first saw it.
It's one of those movies that I think that gets better every time you watch it. There's little details you catch.
Yeah,
like this time was the first time I noticed that in one of the backgrounds they had like, those different brands and those different movie, and it was From Dusk Till Dawn, which was like a sequel to Shaun of the Dead, and just little nods like that were really awesome. But I remember when I saw this in the theater, it was one of those movies that I wasn't that really into. I'm not a big Spider-Man guy. I'm not a comic book guy, but it got, everyone was talking about how good it was. So I was like, I got to check this out. And just from that first moment where it starts with like that beat, that's almost like a heartbeat, boom, boom, it just drew me in, and I was hooked until like the even the credits at the end were amazing. Like that song with all the different Spider-Man stuff going on, and it just like hooked me in. It was I don't know. It's just so much fun. It's not too serious. It's how you should do a multiverse movie. A little tongue in cheek.
Yeah.
Not taking itself too seriously. Not worrying about.
Not to interrupt you, but one thing that I noticed in my rewatch that I was surprised by is they never really said that word multiverse ever that I can recall. They kept saying different dimension or something.
Yeah, from another dimension.
Yeah, from another dimension. They just I don't recall them actually saying the word multiverse ever.
I don't think. I know they said universe several times, different universe.
So what planet or what Earth?
Yeah. Exactly. So, anyways, just a little note there. But any other thoughts before we move to the historian below you on my screen, at least, Garrison?
No, it was just a lot of fun. It didn't go too deep into like the science fiction, like how this worked and why it worked.
Right.
Which I think was good.
That matters. Yeah.
No,
that's what we need.
That's the point.
No, we don't need that.
Point of clarification, real quick.
Okay.
This screen, how you're seeing it, is how everybody sees it. It's not like
Zoom.
Really? Yes, it's not like Zoom. So this is how you're broadcasting.
Different from Zoom. Okay.
This is how you're broadcasting on YouTube.
Well, good. That's great. Okay, Garrison.
So we're all there.
First of all, Garrison, explain to us the differences in the versions that you watched.
Interesting. Okay.
I know.
Real quick question, Ozzy Nate. Are you on vacation currently?
No, Thursday's last day.
Thursday's last day.
Oh, wow.
I may pare down some of the history then, because I don't want to keep you up too late. But the differences in the versions, I watched the theatrical cut.
Wait, can we go first before he goes?
Central time. He's an hour earlier than you are.
What? What is Earl? Earl, that is so rude.
Okay. I watched the theatrical cut on my PS5. I plugged in headphones. I watched it. I was like, "Oh, these headphones! It sounded great. It was awesome." That boom at the beginning, yes, it gets you hooked with the Comics Code of Authority hitting the screen. Which, if you don't know what the Comics Code of Authority is, I'm not going to get into the history of that. But that is not a part of comics anymore.
Actually, I would like you to get into the history of that. We've got
I think what it was missing. One thing it was missing is Spider-Man telling us where we shouldn't be touched by other people, like in those old comics.
Streamline this thing, boys.
The Comics Code of Authority was kind of a moral panic thing where they thought that the government would come in and censor them, and so they created their own censor board.
Like the MPAA?
Moving on.
Well, after the EC Comics.
Whack.
EC Comics, correct, Earl. Yes, and that movement totally destroyed EC Comics.
And there was a book written that comics were this great evil.
Yeah, I can't remember what the something of innocence, something. Yeah. Anyway,
but there was a big movement to stop comics.
Huh.
In the 50s.
That's an interesting.
So the three cuts.
Yeah. What are we talking?
They weren't three cuts. So there were two cuts. I watched the theatrical version, and then I watched it with the director's commentary and writer's commentary.
Okay.
Directors and writers talking about the whole process of the film. It was really insightful. It was really cool.
That was cool.
Then I watched alternate universe mode, which is really cool because it adds I would say it adds 30 or 40 minutes to the film, but also excises about 20 minutes as well, where they add in a bunch of storyboard or previs or almost animated sequences to this is what the story almost was. And you're oh yeah, I'm watching a worse version of this film. But it's really cool to see the filmmaking process of being they cut out this and then added a scene here to make that faster or speed that up and get rid of certain things. I thought it was really interesting just seeing the filmmaking process on that.
The
You want me
filmmakers
to
are
get
cutting
into the-
Garrison's Wi-Fi.
Nah, it's okay.
Oh, was I going in and out?
Nah, we heard you. You just
It's
went a
fine.
little.
No, we can hear you fine.
It bobbled for a minute, but
There was just
Okay.
a joke there that I was trying to make. It wasn't that funny.
I do that all the time. Spider-Verse, the history of the Spider-Verse in the comics, I do want to touch on that a little bit.
Yeah,
First time
I do want to know what's going on with this whole comic book parallel to the movie.
The first time, I think this should be noted first off, the first time the multiverse comes up in a superhero comic book is Flash 123 in 1961, The Flash of Two Worlds. Barry Allen phases himself basically into Jay Garrick's universe by accident. Then he runs into Jay Garrick. You got to understand there's a lot of history there. He was a huge fan of Jay Garrick's comics, as you see early on in Showcase Presents number 4. These aren't even notes. I'm just going off my memory of Flash comics.
No, I love it. I love
He's
it.
got it.
Well, what about
this
Marvel?
is not a Flash discussion. This is a. No,
when did Marvel
Boring
first
rat.
mention it?
Rhett's almost asleep.
I actually didn't look up when Marvel first did the multiverse, but I know they really didn't like doing multiverse stuff because here's the thing: DC really went in on the multiverse, and the Flash of Two Worlds started that. And then they said, "Oh my goodness, we've got to clean this up. Here's Crisis on Infinite Earths. Let's get rid of a bunch of these things. Let's pare this down." And now every 10 years they go, "Oh my goodness, we went too far. We've got to pare this down, bring it down to 1 Earth or 52 Earths or whatever they choose at that moment."
616.
Yeah, and then Marvel. Yeah, Marvel, they got the 616. I did want to mention the first time Spider-Verse is mentioned in a comic.
Okay.
Was not the same usage. It was just used as speaking about the Spider-Man characters. But it was on the cover of the first issue of the Clone Saga, which is a disaster for Marvel. And we don't really need to go over what that did for the character. Although
was that the life model decoy stuff, or was that something else?
No,
no.
Okay. That was Peter Parker was revealed to have been a clone for the last 20 years in the comics, and so every story you read didn't actually.
Hey, I'm hoping that's what they do with Luke Skywalker.
Comics.
I'm hoping that's what they do. with Luke Skywalker.
And then they went, "Oh my goodness, people don't like this." Okay, wait, no, that was the real Peter. The other one's the clone.
That's so dumb. The other one's the clone.
Comics are stupid.
No, they're not. They're amazing. I'm very much enjoying my deep dive into
Michael,
comics.
you're in your honeymoon phase of comics.
I really am. No, I am. Yeah.
You still love them, you just haven't read enough.
Wait till I read more. Yeah.
I love them. I want to read more.
The first time another Spider-Man meets another Spider-Man is in Spider-Man 2099 meets Spider-Man #1 from 1995, written by Peter David. I read this comic. They did not point at each other. In fact, they barely even come into contact with each other. What they actually do is switch places on the timeline. 2099, they get flipped back and forth. They keep in communication with each other to kind of figure out the problems. And at the end, they meet up and they beat the bad guys. And the bad guy plot was kind of really
Frequency.
Nothing, but kind of like was Frequency. Yeah. Now,
hey, is Mary Jane hot in 2099?
She's really old.
Oh yeah. Now is 2099 the one who's going to be in the new one?
Yes.
Yeah, he's
Miguel
in.
O'Hara.
All of them are going to be in the new one.
So biggest
we can go
mark on the timeline to me. This is the first mark to me for the Spider-Verse. January 1998, Spider-Man and the animated series, the 2-part finale, Spider Wars, created by John Semper, who was a big fan of the comics. The first time he brought a bunch of Peter Parkers together to go and fight the bad guy. And it's actually a really, really well done a couple of episodes. You should watch that and the Secret Wars 3-parter right before it, because they all kind of tie in and they tell a kind of a satisfying, really, really satisfying multiverse story for Spider-Man. And it doesn't go too crazy, and it does feel pretty grounded, actually. But that's the first time that kind of the Spider-Verse concept starts in Spider Wars. I'm going to skip some things because
a bunch of Peters together. That sounds like San Francisco.
But I do think we should understand that. Wow. I do think we should understand.
Be stricken from the record, sir.
Unfortunately, it can't.
Hit the dump button.
I do want to point out 2 things. Sorry. 2 years after this happens, Ultimate Spider-Man is launched in 2000. That's a huge moment for the character. A reboot.
Yeah.
A lot of people
Dave
fell in
Dollar
love
likes the Ultimate Spider-Man a lot.
A lot of people fell in love with the character that way. It's a retelling of basically him at 16, but in 2000 instead of in the 60s.
Okay.
Yeah, well, some people like it, some people don't. I'm not a big fan of the stretching out
Earl's
of
golden
his
era comics
I'm
only.
golden era, baby.
origin, but I will.
He wants Spider-Man in his 60s.
I will say it's one of the first times we actually get Uncle Ben fleshed out for more than 2 panels before he's shot, like he is in the 60s.
Okay, all right.
And so
That's
there is some good character development that happens there, but it probably is a little too stretched out sometimes. I'm going to say next up on the timeline, we're going to move all the way to 2010. There's a video game put out, Spider-Man Shattered Dimensions. Importantly, co-written by Dan Slott and Mark Hoffmeyer. Dan Slott, who is a huge Spider-Man comic writer.
Okay.
He's big. He's big.
This is a video game that stars The Amazing Spider-Man, Spider-Man 2099, Ultimate Spider-Man, and what was the other one? Spider-Man Noir, all in their own dimensions. In their own dimensions, trying to get this artifact. It was another Spider-Verse type story, but it was the thing that inspired Dan Slott to write the comic Spider-Verse. I think he wanted to do it a couple years earlier, but there was some Bendis comic that got in the way that I didn't type about.
Bendis gets in the way of everything, apparently.
The next year, Ultimate Spider-Man, Bendis kills Peter Parker in the Ultimate Universe. The Sinister Six kills Peter Parker. And in comes he introduces Miles Morales into the comics in Ultimate Fallout #4, which leads to
Bendis created Morales, didn't he?
Yes, which leads to the Ultimate Comics All New Spider-Man #1, starring Miles Morales and created by Brian Michael Bendis. Yes.
If this show were like a comic, you would have Thought Bubble over Nate's head, imagining a dingo eating Garrison right now.
Now I just know how my students feel all day.
Okay, speeding things up.
Any more lectures?
Edge of Time was a cool video game that came out in between them, written by Peter David, great longtime comic book writer who also wrote that meetup that they did. He basically turned that into a video game, that 2099 meets Spider-Man, and did it even better with a really cool twist in it that I'm not going to ruin for you guys in case anyone ever plays that. Miles and Peter from the 616 meet for the first time in Spider-Man #1 in 2012. That was a cool event.
So what's but stop right there. What's with the Peter B. Parker thing? Is that just some silly joke, or is that like a actual character?
He's basically the 616 Spider-Man. I mean, that's what he's supposed to be. He's supposed to be the comic Spider-Man. I mean, they even show there's a sensor in the film that shows E616. When the universes are coming together, and you can see a bunch of the
He's the original Peter, right?
Yes, he's supposed to be the original Peter, but grown up and in a little bit of a tough place.
Had some hard times.
All right, we're here, guys.
He was written by the sequel Star Wars writers.
Right.
We're here, guys. 2014, Amazing Spider-Man Volume 3, #9, Spider-Verse Part 1. And, oh my goodness, this thing sprawls into 50 million different comics, and also inspires this movie that we're talking about, obviously, and inspires No Way Home in a sense, and was inspired by that video game we talked about before, written by Dan Slott. This is also written by Dan Slott, and also was inspired by that '98 animated cartoon. So these things it's all interconnected, guys.
I love it.
This story,
like a web, maybe.
Like a web, exactly.
This story deals with a bunch of spider characters. I mean, it's Peter. it's Peter. It's Mayday Parker, who is his daughter, Spider Girl from the comics.
She seems to be in the next one. She's in the Cross the Spider-Verse.
She's a baby. She's a baby in the next one.
Okay.
I really like the Spider Girl comic. The stuff I've read from it, at least. This thing's kind of I'm not a huge fan of the Spider-Verse comic. I'll just flat out say it. It deals. There's some good moments here or there. It's a lot of fan servicey here. Let's throw the 1960s cartoon in there, and the 2011 cartoon, and
that's kind of what they're doing.
It's going to be in the movie, this upcoming movie too. I bet.
They said there's 240 different Spider-Man characters.
Yeah, but they said like only 95 of them were named, and I'm sure like 10 of them.
95.
95 of the 240.
Oh my.
So what did you think of the movie, Garrison?
Let's talk about the first adaptation of the Spider-Verse, Marvel's Ultimate Spider-Man Season 3, episodes 9 through 12.
I didn't know this was going to be a filibuster.
Yeah, can we change the laws
and then
here?
Boba Fett sticks his hand out of the sand.
This segment of Deucecast Extra brought to you by 988.
Look at the Florida, better watch out for Jesus.
Peter Parker travels to different universes to stop Ultimate Green Goblin, who, by the way, just a fun fact, this Ultimate Green Goblin you see in Into the Spider-Verse is maybe a little bit bigger than Ultimate Green Goblin, but he's about
pretty big. Yeah.
But he's about that brooding and giant in the comics, and that dangerous to Peter Parker. He's a little ridiculous, actually, in my opinion. I swear I'll speed this up.
No, you're fine. Streamline.
I do. I do want to mention really quickly, Secret Wars is a huge part of this. Spider-Verse ends, and it basically ties in directly to Secret Wars in 2015. And that results in, sorry, spoiler alert, it's a minor spoiler alert because it's very public knowledge nowadays, but Miles Morales hands Molecule Man a cheeseburger, and Molecule Man likes the gesture so much that he says, Miles, here you go. You're now in the 616 timeline, and the rest of your universe is destroyed. And also, I revived your mom from the dead.
Yeah, I remember hearing about
cheeseburger.
That is a powerful cheeseburger.
It was a 3-week-old cheeseburger too, but they didn't mention that. So.
Oh goodness.
There's more
Molecule
adaptations.
Man.
There was a season 4 arc of Return to the Spider-Verse and the Ultimate Spider-Man cartoon. There's Spider-Man 2, which also has Miles and Peter coming together, but now they're in the same universe. And there's a Miles that's originally from the 616, and they're going to find out who that is.
Oh my gosh.
Yes. Then we get to the sequel to the Spider-Verse. Spider-Geddon. Spider-Geddon 2018, October 2018. Spider-Geddon, which I've read 3 issues of.
Spider-Geddon. I like it.
Where is 616 Peter Parker? I'm not liking it so far. That's one thing I liked about Spider-Verse. He was the chosen one in that one. I was like, okay, yeah.
Oh, Peter B. Parker was the chosen one? Okay.
Yeah, basically, yeah. And there's a lot of people involved in all that. There's way too much, but there's a whole vampire society that's after them. But now we're to the movie, okay? Which, in my opinion, now that we're at the movie, I'm going to say this as someone who's now read a bunch of Spider-Man comics in the last couple months to prep for this, and didn't even go through the plots for you guys because that's just too much time. I think this is the best iteration of Miles Morales ever put in any media ever.
Oh, okay.
I've heard people say that. Yeah,
I think this movie did such a service to the character, not a disservice, a service to the character. Made him so much better in a lot of other people's eyes. I'm not a big fan of his early comics that Brian Michael Bendis wrote for a myriad of reasons. But
I'm struggling through anything Bendis wrote, to be honest.
Mikey, you see my problem.
I mean, I love, dude. Hickman's awesome, but I like Hickman's writing
big
style,
ideas. But I'm going to finish this off just by saying that I think this movie is great, and that it's the best version of Miles, and I wish the comics would conform to it more than they do right now.
Interesting. Okay.
And they probably will start to conform to what's happening. All right, Roth. Jacob B. Roth. Thoughts on the movie?
By the way, there's more history. I just cut a lot out.
We might get to it.
So a little history lesson for me, going to be much shorter. 2018, when this movie was coming out, I thought this was going to be the stupidest thing ever. And it just looked so bad, whether it was just bad trailers or what. I can't remember, but I was not for it. But I did go see Venom. And there was a post-credit scene of this movie, and I left before it because I was like, I don't care. And then the hype was so big after it came out, I finally went and saw it, and I was like, whoa, that movie was really good. And I still think this movie's really good. But I think over the past, I guess it's been 5 years now, I think I've been peer pressured into maybe rating it up a bit higher than maybe what I think it deserves. I think it's very good. I gave it like an 88. So it's very good, but
Good.
I can't go as far as like an Aussie Nate and say it's my favorite.
Dude, I love it.
I don't know if you'd say that, Nate. But
It's
that
a
type of
solid
deal.
9.
I think it's very good.
Yeah. Okay. Spider Earl, which there might be one in.
Well,
I mean, you never know.
You may, my character may show up. There may be like a spider ginger or something like that comes. No, so I wasn't really hyped for this when we watched it. I had sort of a low bar.
Did we go to the theater to watch
We did.
this?
Yeah, we did.
I could look. I have no memory
and
of
I
the
was pretty impressed with it when we saw it, and then rewatching it, I think I caught more of Miles' story. I like the connection to the comics that it made very clearly, like they would throw a comic book down,
I like that.
Yeah.
The little origins.
and it would be the origin, even all the way into Spider-Ham. They had their sort of. So I like that the art was sort of like a comic book. I do think, and I liked the Miles and his dad and his family story arc. I liked the
and his uncle.
And the thing with his uncle, I'd totally forgotten that. Like rewatching it, I did not remember that he was
Prowler. Yeah,
the Prowler. And spoiler alert for those watching.
Well, that's always spoiler filled.
So I don't know how much the movie stuck with me because when I was watching, I was like, oh man, I do not remember this. But I thought his arc was really good for Miles. I think it got a little too swirly for me at the end. Like it was just too busy. I do agree a little bit with Red on that it just kind of went off the rails. I didn't love, and I think I mentioned this even the first time I saw it, I didn't like the way they drew Kingpin as this big like block looking. I know some people love that. Yeah, that was a little too much. Like I wanted him to be behulking, but not quite just this big weird sort of out of proportion. And the same with Goblin. I didn't love that giant, but I understand that was a different Goblin. But overall, I really liked it. I thought the music was good. So I'm I'm looking forward to the next one. I hear it's supposed to be even better. It's supposed to be like
that's what people
Empire
seem
Strikes
to be saying.
Back of it's going to get darker. It's going to be taking him on an adventure, and I'm worried somebody may bite it. I don't know. I don't have any knowledge of that. I'm just. I didn't love Aunt May's. I didn't love. Well, yeah, if they start with him in the pan, they're just cooking him. That'd be great.
Yeah, the Aunt May bit was a little bit.
I didn't love that. Yeah.
Even that look, and I this is another stupid little thing, but I didn't understand how this massive cavern of like 60 stories down where he's got all his spider stuff. Like who dug that out? Did you get which subcontractor did you get to oversee this? I don't, that kind of thing.
Yeah,
took me
spider
out
strength,
of it
man.
And I know it's a crazy cartoon with a talking pig. I get it. But that was a little weird. I thought the voice cast was super good.
Yeah.
And I thought Nick Cage had the most fun out of any of them. Like he underused a little bit, but it was very much Nick Cage, right?
I think Jake Johnson was good
about the Rubik's Cube.
Jake Johnson did such a good job of I
think he was good.
Probably the writing and his voice acting of making this it's amazing how every character Jake Johnson plays is just so Jake Johnson.
Right.
You know what I mean? And I think that's a good thing because it's not a.
Well, especially in this case when he was supposed to be sort of schlubby. I mean,
and he does that really well, and he does the funny thing really well, and the character pulls it all off.
But also sincere at the same time.
Most of the jokes landed for me. I thought it was pretty funny.
It was good writing,
at least. I didn't think any of those were just total duds. I really kind of enjoyed that. It was kind of a smart humor, which I appreciated. So that part was good.
So was this version of Dr. Ock, Doc Ock or whatever, supposed to be related to the original Doc Ock in any way? Or
I just think a total swap.
I think it's just a swap.
Just a swap. Okay. I didn't know if it was
it's supposed to
the daughter.
But it's still not. Yeah, it's not 616 World, so there's still the real Doc Ock out there.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it was supposed to. Well, and you even see claws of Doc Ock's from Gwen's universe, Earth 65, hit right before right after she goes into the portal. So there are several Doc Ocks out there. But
the first time I watched this, it was a massive surprise that she was Doc Ock. So I think the swap worked.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Well, I think it works because you're introduced to her at the beginning of the film in class.
Right. Right.
and you only see the word Olivia and the O of the other name. I paid really hard attention to this when I was watching it, and I was like, okay, if we see Doc Ock on the screen the first time, we know that's Doc Ock if it's Doc Ock, the male Doc Ock. So the twist there doesn't really work with that scene.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it's fine.
Is there even a way to answer Brian's question, or no?
Doesn't.
Not really. I don't
They're not really the same. Well,
yeah.
Okay.
What are we willing?
I would
what am
say.
I missing?
Look at the comments.
No,
How
no.
does this?
Yeah, I would say.
Oh, what is he willing? Okay.
I would say in the sense that everyone got sucked into one universe. That's the only way they're similar to me.
Yeah, but that's not there's no interconnectivity as far as plot points or overlap or anything like that. It's just from
I think there could be.
They definitely reference the Rami films.
They're going.
They reference the Rami.
Doesn't mean it.
Well,
that doesn't. That is the.
I don't think it connects it, but it just definitely ties in. Like,
wait till you see Across the Spider-Verse.
I got your answer for you.
Do it.
I listened to the commentary, and they specifically talked that the Pine Spider-Man, where you see a bunch of the Raimi stuff. They were like, yes, we wanted to include the Raimi stuff, but we didn't want to go too far with it because we wanted them to be an amalgam of all the different Spider-Man, Peter Parkers that exist. So we're taking a bunch of different references and throwing it in there.
So Brian, the answer is it doesn't. Whatever nonsense that this group bunch is going to try to throw at you,
I'm totally with you, Rhett.
It's just a no. It doesn't.
This movie, it does not whatsoever.
No. Now the future,
the universe will.
Yeah.
The next movie it may, but for this movie, it certainly does not.
Yeah.
There's a reference to Spider-Man 3 with dancing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was
one of the
good.
scenes. Yeah.
You need to see this, Brian, because Across the Spider-Verse and its sequel,
it's going to change cinema forever.
It's going to the
balance of power.
The balance of
power. Earl, it will, because now we're going to get animation recognized for Best Picture.
That's right. Well, it has been before.
Animation is cinema.
And the animation was neat for this one. I mean, it was
Didn't
good.
Beauty and the Beast get nominated for Best Picture?
Air is going to win Best Picture. So
no, I think it's too early.
It's early in the year.
Dune Part 2.
That's what they say about Everything Everywhere All at Once.
I know.
The Machine.
Oppenheimer.
The Harvest
Machine.
No,
Mark
I mean,
Hamill,
look,
Best Supporting
Brian,
Actor.
it
Jimmy
is worth
Tatro,
watching.
Best Actor.
It very
See
much
it.
is worth watching.
Watch it ASAP.
It very much is. Yeah.
It's an easy 2 hours.
It's going to be important.
If we're on to the live stuff, just really quickly, I want to throw in something that I learned.
Well, I do want to say my piece for just a second.
Yeah, Michael, tell us your thoughts, Michael. You're very patient.
Well, if you follow me on Letterboxd, you know that I do like the movie a lot. Before this movie came out, I guess was it 05? When did Watchmen come out? 05?
No,
06 or
09.
07, I think.
09.
Oh, no.
You-
Okay.
You guys are all telling
played
your personal stories like you're Harry Knowles telling about a
The
movie.
trailer
you just
played
saw.
in front of Dark Knight.
Oh, that's right. Okay. So when that movie came out, whatever year that was, they on Netflix, you could watch a motion comic of the entire Watchmen saga. And so this was way before I wanted to delve into actually sitting down and reading a comic book. So they had this motion comic, and I was very into the way they did it. It certainly was nowhere near the animation style of Into the Spider-Verse, but it was really cool the way you could see it was frame by frame motion comic of every single thing that happened. The way that they chose to animate this film reminded me of a comic book, which is what you want. I mean, I think that's exactly what they were going for, and it really comes through in the way, and people are copying it now. I mean, we see Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles is going to have that style. I mean, it's become a new type of animation style, and there was that the Bad Guys, that little cartoon that came out last year, kind of had that feel to it as well in certain sequences, and even the new Puss in Boots, I think had a little bit of that.
The combat scenes in Puss in Boots would go to a similar
like
almost an anime type animation. That was a very different animation style, which I thought worked beautifully.
Yeah.
Puss in Boots 2, one of the better movies I've seen in the last.
Yeah, it was good. I mean, it was really. I liked it too. I mean, so
really good.
All that to say that I very much respect the trying something new, like doing something different. And I liked it. I really, really like this movie a lot. I think my favorite, obviously, is Spider Noir. I mean, come on, it's Nick Cage. Gotta love that. I was very terrified early in the Across the Universe process when Nick kept saying he wasn't going to be back. And I think he's back. I mean, it's obvious that he's coming back.
What were the what did he say? There's some line he had that I'd missed.
That was all so great. All
he had some great.
He was. I like.
Put him up, yeah. Bubblegum chomper.
He was struggling with the Rubik's
That was
Cube.
more John
He didn't
Mulaney
see
than
colors.
Nick Cage.
Yes, I'm taking this. I'm taking this with me.
I don't understand it, but I will.
Yeah,
He figured it out at the end. He had it figured out.
at the end he had it all lined up.
There were 3 animated movies that have been nominated for Best Picture:
Yes, yeah. I knew there was
Beauty
at
and
least,
the Beast,
yeah.
Up, and Toy Story 3.
Okay.
Yeah.
And now, pretty soon.
Yeah, but which one's gonna win it? Across
Oh, you're laying down that.
Oh,
gauntlet.
he's throwing his
Not gonna happen.
Gonna win a
I'm
best
Not
gonna
gonna
mind
happen.
that.
not with
gonna
Killers
happen
of
at
the
all.
Harvest Moon or whatever that.
Flower
But the
Yeah.
Deuces, maybe.
Maybe the Deucey. Yeah. The Scorsese's film probably is going to have a good chance this year of.
I think Oppenheimer legitimately has a great chance.
Oppenheimer.
Oh, sure.
Doing part 2.
Poppenheimer.
He struggled. Yeah, maybe some of his stuff lacks coherence. Christopher Nolan, he struggles with the coherence.
Ooh, you're going.
Now, Oppenheimer's a lot.
Uh-oh.
Garrison's about to
You can
lose
just
it.
remove everybody except
Right.
for those 2.
Right, it's okay. It's okay. It's okay. You just didn't get it. It's all right.
No, I'll get it. I get it. Look, I love Tenet. I think Tenet is a masterpiece,
Mm-hmm.
but you can't follow it if you don't go into it.
You got to watch
You got
it.
to know what you're getting into.
Oh yeah, I did because I did a bunch of research before it came out, and I was like, oh, it's going to get into all
I'm
That's
this.
right,
surprised.
man.
I'm
Yeah.
surprised
Now,
to
I
hear you
w-
say that.
I
He's
will
right.
say, Inception. If you don't get Inception, I'm a little bit worried about you.
Oh, yeah,
Inception's a pretty straightforward
Yeah.
movie.
It's Barbie all the way, man.
Barbie going up against
Well, maybe
Oppenheimer.
right.
Confused by movies. It's just
Barbie's going to outperform Oppenheimer probably 3-1.
It will, and that's it's really pathetic.
Okay,
It's
I'll lay
pathetic.
down
No.
this gauntlet. I'll lay down this gauntlet. The
Don't.
interest for Barbie is
Don't.
very online. Very online.
No. But look, dude. No.
You're not looking at what I'm looking at. I see industry trend stuff that they have for like awareness and actual interest for seeing a movie. Barbie is a through the roof on awareness and
not
not,
gonna
that
be-
high on interest.
It's not going to beat Oppenheimer. There's no way.
What?
I heard that
Well-
both Barbie and Spider-Man were cast
I
in
don't know that.
Oppenheimer.
I think
What?
financially Barbie's got the edge just because it's more
They are,
of a
aren't they?
universal accepted IP than Oppenheimer.
Well, but
Yeah.
she's also
Oppenheimer
attacking
is a
Barbie.
one. That's a 1 quarter. That's a 1 cube.
Yeah, it is. It's not a
It's
four
not a four
quadrant.
quadrant,
It's
it's
one,
one
one quadrant.
one
Yeah.
quadrant.
Barbie has it all. If
Quadrant.
you love Barbie, it's for you.
Older-
If you hate Barbie,
Yeah.
it's for you.
Yeah, exactly.
But
Barbie
once
has
it-
it all.
Well, so
That's what-
yeah.
Well, let's
Greta-
wait until these things come out.
No. Look. I would
Look,
love
hey,
it to
make
happen.
your predictions now. Throw it down.
I would love it to happen, but
I
it's
think
not.
I think the Flash outperforms a lot of movies this summer. That's my gauntlet. But
No, I think so too. I think the interest on that, I mean, is
No,
very.
that's true.
It's very.
It won't
keen.
win.
on that
It
is
won't win an Oscar. I will say
hi.
I've been special effects.
Huh?
or-
the
special
index
effects
is
are
high.
fun. All right.
Interest is high.
Let's go back to Nate. Any thoughts? Any further thoughts on Spider-Verse?
Some
Some
there
of your
was just
favorite moments, I guess.
okay. So that what is it? The leap of faith moment
Yes.
where he is just falling.
Cool.
I've
runoff.
read up a little bit on this movie, not just for this, but just because I enjoyed it so much.
Mhm.
And I know that that's one of the key moments that they came up with like before they like wrote the script. Was
okay.
it sort of started with that moment, and I don't know, that's just a really cool movie moment, not just like a comic movie,
Yeah.
but like just
Yeah.
a
Right.
cool moment. My daughter, she's 8 at the moment. We
Mhm.
watched this about 20 or 30 times when she between the ages of like 5 to 7.
Yep.
She loves this movie nearly as much as me, and it's
Oh,
just one of
wow.
those movies that you can just throw on, and other than the discussion about what puberty is, it's pretty safe to
Yeah.
watch with the kids.
Yeah, definitely.
How'd you answer that one?
Go ask mom.
Yeah, exactly. That's what any
That's
female related thing like that. I've got 2 daughters also, and I'm like, go ask your mother. I don't even want to have anything to do with
I've
it.
never heard
Pass
of that.
that right off.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I don't know how it even works. Go ahead.
My oldest, when this came out, she really liked it a lot. She refuses to act like she likes it now because she's like almost 13, and when you're almost 13, you think you're the coolest thing on the face of the earth. And so she's like, I don't want to watch this movie with you. And she doesn't sound like Trump. I don't know why I just did that.
Trust me. I don't want to watch it with you.
Trust me.
Nerdy Michael, I'm not watching that Spider-Man movie with you. I'm not watching it, Nerdy Michael.
Very bad.
So yeah, she liked it at the time when it came out, but refuses to watch it now. I couldn't.
But you can influence your younger daughter, though, Michael.
She only watches YouTube. She doesn't watch any. She doesn't watch any.
No,
long. You know what she's watching right now, which I'm happy. It's a narrative. Is The Secrets of Sulphur Springs. She's very into that show on Disney Plus or whatever.
I don't know what that is.
It's like a mystery with ghosts and stuff like that. And I'm like, yes.
Oh yeah.
Anything besides YouTube, I am. Oh no! Oh no!
Whoa! What is that?
He is not happy that you're in his room. That I saw that look on his face.
Was he like in a towel and did he just finish?
My laptop wasn't working. So.
Oh.
I thought your laptop would be here, but it wasn't. So.
Jeez. Why are you in my room? I'm Scott Riven. Why are you in my room?
Sleep, man?
He was just giving me a look.
I know.
Yeah. He just got done showering after exercising, so.
Yeah, I'm totally that. That's a late exercise. Good gracious.
To talk to Nate's point, that leap of faith scene, I think that's a great mixture of score and soundtrack in that one scene, because you've got the bum 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 playing underneath the soundtrack.
Right.
and the only thing I don't like about that there's one thing I don't like about that scene, and it's the constant repeat of "What's up, Danger?" and it's like for the fifth time it happens. I'm like, dude,
what's up, Danger?
Yeah. It's like waiting for the beat to drop.
I know, I understand, but it's like
He's Amazed would be all over that.
We've promoted his career more than
no doubt. That dude's a famous DJ in New York now. I mean, he's like all because of CTI.
Bar mitzvah.
Roth, did you have anything? Any favorite moments? Oh, I guess I skipped Garrison's favorite moments, but you had a long time, Garrison. So let's move to Roth.
He's got to rest his vocal cords, so
rest your vocal. I'm giving you some. We'll come back to you for sure.
No, I disagree with Rhett and Dr. Earl on the animation. I think the animation is absolutely the strongest part of this movie.
I like the animation.
I say that as in I don't think it goes too far. I think it's. I'm typically against modern stylings and modern things in general, but this is a version of that works. What was it? Miss Marvel episode 1? That didn't work for me. That was too Gen Z.
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
This type of stuff, it worked, and I liked there were multiple different every time comic words would come up, not just the
I love that
cows, but later that night, Miles searches for answers, that type of thing. I think.
No, I loved all that.
The narration and even some of the sound effects that kind of follow him around. I like.
Yeah, and but even the busyness of it, I do partially agree that they definitely could have given some time to let a shot play and notice some things. It's very sequel trilogy, Star Wars,
it's fast.
Let's just go move this camera super fast through a bunch of aliens, unlike original Star Wars type of thing. But it is so fast paced, and I mean it's less than 2 hours, so that's really nice to see from a movie too.
This is true. Not the new one's
not
definitely
the sequel.
Not. The sequel's going to be a lot.
Yeah, that's animation by far my favorite part. Oh, I'm sorry, I also forgot. I watched Caught in a Ham.
Oh, I did too. Yeah.
Yeah.
It plays directly after the movie.
Yeah.
I watched it before the movie started. It's just a cute little short about Spider-Ham, what he was doing before he got sucked in.
Wait, was that wasn't in the credits though? You had to watch that off the disc, right?
Yes.
Okay, I didn't watch that yet.
Should
I watch that? Is it important that I see that before Across the Universe?
It's vital to the whole story.
It may be.
Uh-oh.
Spider-Ham, caught in a ham.
I need to check that out. I didn't watch that one.
Yeah, it was good. I mean, like, it was less than 5 minutes.
If you want to watch alternate universe mode, it's at the beginning of that as well. So.
Oh, interesting.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
And it makes sense there because he says something that really lines up with a kind of a beginning short. If that had played in front of the film, it would have made a lot of sense, actually.
I think
I'm fine with.
They should.
They were probably worried about like.
You don't want to give up the Spider-Ham gimmick.
That's true.
Yeah.
Oh, I hope I don't show up. Yeah. I know.
62 minutes.
I hope I don't show up 62 minutes into this thing.
You say that?
Pretty much on time, by the way.
Yeah. John Mulvaney was an awesome voice actor as well.
Yeah, he was good too. I like.
He read somewhere that
they
let him just like go off the cuff, and apparently Spider-Ham was very dirty in some original
probably. I can imagine
takes of that, so he had to dial it back a little bit.
Dr. Earl, what's any particular favorite moment that you can recall?
I mean, I think the heart. I really appreciated the just for a movie to take time to have that the scene at the door when after the uncle had died and the policeman was the dad was sort of talking to the door, and just you could tell he was in pain, and Miles was in pain, and so I just really appreciated that sort of like just to take the time to do that character level of acting in a movie like this, which is obviously could have been built totally for kids. They decided to do something a little deeper with it. Now I realize some of y'all might think that's a boring scene, but I thought it was a really
I like that.
Well, I think from a pacing standpoint, it was nice to slow down for just a second and not be constantly barraged with color and
catch your breath.
Right.
Yeah, if you guys really want to know my favorite scene, I wrote down scene at the door with his dad A+ on my notes. So yeah, that's also my favorite scene in the film.
Simpatico, bro.
I think any of the stop that, Earl. Any of the characterization that the uncle and Miles got to spend together, I liked any of that also because it sort of has a nice arc through the whole film. I mean, because you show that he has almost. At least you think at the beginning of the film that his relationship with his uncle is more authentic because he does than his own father, because he can be more real with his uncle. He can
my dad's trying to keep me down.
My dad's trying to keep me down, so he feels like So I would have liked a bit more background on like why he's the Prowler or how he became the Prowler. I know we're never going to get that, and it doesn't really matter, but it still would be interesting to know what got him down that road, since he knows that his brother's a cop, and I don't know.
Drugs, man.
Yeah, I think the
motivation
implication was that they both got in trouble together as children, and he followed that path, and his brother went and became a cop. So I feel like we got most of that there,
which almost leads into 2018 politics and the difference of how this movie would be now.
So I did some history research for that. If you guys want.
Oh, good.
I will say I really do like that his dad's a cop, and I'll just kind of leave it there. But I think the funniest line in the movie is when Miles is at the like public mourning of Peter Parker, and Mary Jane's like they're counting on you, and he's under his breath. He's like, they're counting on me. And the guy's like, probably not you specifically. I think it's a metaphor. That cracked me up.
That was good.
Yeah, you're right. That was pretty fun.
Also, I hate anime.
So you
Parker
didn't like
I liked Parker. What's her name?
Anime Spider anime.
I hate it. I hate it so much. I hate everything about anime.
It's like almost barely anime, though.
That was fun. That was fun to me.
You're right, Garrison, but that's how much I hate anime.
Yeah, I mean, there were one or two moments that were like the streaky motion, anime motion thing that you do with the big eyes, a couple of that, but it didn't. I thought it was a goofy.
The robot guys and her eyes are like 8 times.
Hello, robots.
Is that a thing? Is that a comic thing? Or is that a new?
Who? Penny?
Yeah.
Penny Parker.
That's a great question. She's one of the few characters I really wanted to research as I'm sitting here. I'm like, I should have looked it up.
I looked up something tonight, and I think she was in something from like 2012 or something. So I think a little before the movie.
She's been there.
That probably would have. That probably would have been lead up to things like Spider-Verse or something at the time.
I think it was at the very beginning of that, from what I could understand.
Yeah, I mean, it was the lead. I mean, that's totally not my jam either. I don't like anime. I keep trying to like it, and I just can't.
Yeah, I'm the same way. I've tried over the years,
that character I didn't connect in any way to her.
So fast.
I felt no sadness over the robot's demise. I thought all that was overdone. Like there was nothing. It was kind of unearned. Like there's there had been no established connection to me there. Mm-hmm. So I thought that was kind of a waste of time. I didn't really do. I guess she made the goober, right? She put together. She made the new version of the goober.
She did. She talked about the connection with her father in the suit, I believe.
Yeah, it's so much.
But I think she just said it was my father's suit.
Yeah, maybe that's why. Yeah, I mean, I guess that's why she was so sad about it. But it was also it was suggested that the robot had like personality and thoughts of its own. Like it had the little sad face and all this crap.
I liked all that.
I'm like, this doesn't.
That's the anime stuff that I can't stand.
Yeah. So, but not just anime. I mean, if you go and look at the 1978 Japanese Spider-Man TV show, if you guys know, actually, that
sounds
real
like anime to me.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
It's live action.
Amazing. It's amazing.
Oh, it's live action?
His mythos is based in a mystical spider kind of thing, like an actual spider god or whatever.
It's crazy stuff. Hey, the Bob messed them up, and all the stuff coming out of Japan is just weird.
Speaking of Oppenheimer, it all comes back around to Oppenheimer somehow.
Yeah.
They haven't been the same since August 45.
Good grief. Good grief. Okay, so
too soon, man.
Garrison, any remarks from that war that you would like to make?
Let's not.
Hey guys, come on. Nate's here. Y'all.
Let's not.
They're out on the Pacific Rim, Australia. You gotta in Iowa.
Iowa. In Iowa. They're out of the Pacific Rim in Iowa.
Sent to Australia early. He's in Iowa now.
Full U.S. citizenship.
Exactly. He's
Iowa, otherwise known as heaven.
Yeah, he knows more about he knows more about U.S. history than any of us. He had to pass.
Most definitely does. I can guarantee that on my part, at least. I liked Fisk's connection. He still the flashbacks to his wife and kid. I liked that they were playing off of I know that's been a thing for a long time, but I do like that stuff.
What's that?
What'd you say, Garrison?
That emotionally works to me better than the Penny Parker stuff does. Yeah.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah, I could care less about Penny.
Well, they had to put all 5 of those in there to make a distinction, I think, between each verse. So I mean,
well, that's gonna be that's the only thing I'm kind of worried about with Across the Spider-Verse is like there's gonna be so many.
It's gonna but they'll keep the thread.
The Fisk motivation was fine, like I get that, but they didn't do anything to make him sentimental at all.
Well,
no, he was a rotten dude.
But you wouldn't want
just an epic douchebag, and his family shouldn't. I mean, they didn't want to have anything to do with him once they knew who he was.
Right,
he was still that person. They were never going to want to have anything to do with him. So yeah, you justify all that from a motivation standpoint, but you never connect on a sentimental, emotional level with it because he's a bad guy. They know he's a bad guy. They're not. He's not, he's not trying to do better to get them back. He's not, I'm going to trample on the world, but this, only because I'm trying to do this. He's also an evil douchebag, and he liked he liked all this other trouble.
I mean, he killed the Parker, right?
Yeah. So I just didn't dig. I mean, I didn't get anything out of that. I mean, it would have been just like save me from all that and just have him a mustache twirling villain without any of that because it didn't connect with me anyway.
It's just the MacGuffin, just the reason to bring all the Spider-Man
for him
into
to open up the verse.
Yeah, for him.
Right, I get it. I understand that from a motivation standpoint, but I mean, it could have just been any, I don't know that the intent is clearly to have some emotional connection. Oh, you understand he wants his family back, but it didn't work because he's such a douche. They were not going to come back. They did not want to have anything to do with him. Every instance that we saw of them saw him as an evil person they were trying to get away from. So it just made him just worse.
Do we think Fisk is going to show up in the next this upcoming?
No, it sounds like this one's going to be all about that Oscar Isaac voiced character.
No. Well, the Oscar Isaac's not the villain. The villain's a Spot, and he's in a bunch of trailers and TV spots.
Right. I saw the Spot thing, but
yeah,
is that the guy with the bread coming out of his belly?
Yeah. Which was kind of it's tough to say because sometimes villains are created as jokes, and it's hard to take those characters and make them serious and make them a threat.
Polka Dot Man.
Yes, that's no. Polka Dot Man, I think, was created to be serious, though. That's the thing, and that's why it worked so well with when Gunn did that in the Suicide Squad, because there was kind of a little bit of a basis there and a love behind that character that worked really well. I think the Spot's another one of those types of characters that just became a joke instead of starting out as a joke. And so I'm really interested to see them kind of redeem him. I like them taking lower tier villains and doing that kind of stuff. So
you don't think they're going to swerve and make, what is that, Spider-Man 2099 or something?
So yes, Miguel O'Hara.
Yeah, Miguel
Spider-Man
O'Hara.
2099. He's an Irish, I think Mexican.
Miguel O'Hara.
Yeah. Half Irish, half
Wait,
Mexican from the year 2099. You guys don't know?
I do. I mean, that's because that's who Oscar Isaac was.
Well, here's a big part of his mythos to tie it back into the Spider-Verse. Besides the credit scene,
the credit scene.
Evil science corporation in 2099 in the comics is Alchemex.
Right, because
Now, he's working with a Native American Jew named Tonto Goldberg.
Stop it. The comics are peak 90s brooding Spider-Man.
Yeah. So wait, what's the alchemy? I mean, what's the tie-in?
Alchemex. So that's the science company
corporation.
That's
Olivia Octavia or whatever.
Thank you, Earl.
Malcolm X wasn't that bad of a guy.
Alchemex.
Well, that is the company that she works for in the present day, but in 2099 becomes an evil corporation.
Did y'all even watch the movie?
I knew exactly what you guys were talking about as soon as you said Alchemex.
I know. Aussie Nate knows.
In alternate universe mode, one of the lines said while we're looking at the brand Alchemex in a storyboard, the character says Roxxon, which I thought was kind of interesting. If you're a Marvel fan, that's another evil corporation.
Yeah, we've seen that a lot in Loki. We saw it in a couple
Agents
of other
Shield,
Iron Man 3.
I think you're right. Yeah,
for a second, something like that.
Yeah.
Speaking of, I really want Justin Hammer to come back and from Iron Man 2. By the way, I'm going to
make a slight diversion. The twist that the comic book writer for 2099 wanted for the ending of his series, which Marvel didn't let him do, was he wanted an alternate. This is going to be an alternate feature anyway. He wanted an alternate version of Peter to be the head of that corporation. So he was the evil head of that corporation, and then they were gonna. I think they were gonna redeem all that, but anyway, he just didn't get to do it because they didn't want to make Peter the bad guy.
Is his name
O'Hara?
Miguel O'Hara.
Well,
hello, Miguel O'Hara.
You got a Guinness in one hand and a Corona in the other.
Well, Batman Beyond is Terry McGinnis, but that's just Irish.
¿Cómo está, Miguel O'Hara?
His favorite dinner is haggis washed down by a Jarritos.
Oh, that's awesome.
My goodness.
Oh, so I mean the new film is directed by 3 other guys. None of the other guys that are coming. Like we mentioned Peter Ramsey in the pre-show.
He was there. The first one, right?
He was the first one.
Let's be honest here. These are Lord and Miller's films. They write these films and they produce these films, and they are on for the entire project. Those guys who are directing it are kind of their underlings. Which they're directing, and they're the guys who did the first film went on to do other jobs. Well, okay, Earl. Sure, yeah.
Look, it's
Lord
a
is the
medium.
one
Earl.
that's writing,
It's a medium.
right?
What?
Not
who
Miller.
that- say that again?
Miller didn't write.
Lord wrote the first one, but Miller wrote 2 and 3 with
okay.
Lord. So
Okay.
they're both involved.
Back together.
Yeah, Bob Parachetti's not back.
Nope. Ramsey's not
but
back, and the other guy's like a producer.
Oh, Ramsey's not back either. Wow.
No. He's
Well, I
not.
hope they keep the same art, though. I hope they. I mean, I
Oh,
know
it
they're
is.
trying to be,
It
but
is.
still the comic feel is there.
They've got a
Yeah.
whole team. I mean,
Joaquin
like Brian
DeSantis-
mentioned in the
Dos
chat.
Santos.
I mean, his neighbor's son did some of the animation in the credits, so they've got like
That's really cool.
thousands of people working on these.
I think they had 180 full-time animators.
That makes sense.
That's probably
I mean,
just
almost,
at Sony.
yeah, you almost have to. I mean,
Now, what if Miguel O'Hara went back in time to the 1850s and he had to deal with the papas fritas famine, the great papas fritas famine?
Oh my goodness, I love it.
wow. I'm shocked no one's watching us live right now.
You
after these jokes. After these jokes.
I don't think it was the jokes that got him. It was the history.
No, the history is integral. The history is integral to understand where this movie came
You know
from.
what you need to do with the history lesson? You need to cut that into a short.
I don't do all that.
It'll be 18 shorts, but a short nonetheless.
Yeah,
Have an AI. Transcribe everything you said. Have an AI say it.
Yeah, exactly.
From a storytelling perspective, I don't know if anyone knows this. I don't even know if they talked about it much on the commentary track, but they play with frame rates in this film a lot. And one of the cool things they do in this film is before
12.
Miles has his scene, like we talked about earlier, the What's Up Danger scene, whatever it's called, Leap of Faith, he's being animated as Spider-Man at like 12 frames per second or something.
Right.
But when he finally comes into his own, he's animated at 24 with everyone else. And I think that's a really just cool. That's just
interesting.
Like you can see on the screen, you can see visually he's not there. Like he's not all there frame wise. And again, it's just another way of telling that story that he is becoming Spider-Man at the end. I mean,
obviously they're like going very ambitious with this sequel. I mean, it's the longest animated film ever made. Is that right? I think that's what I read somewhere, that it's the longest animated film
ever made.
That's what
I don't know.
220. That's pretty freaking
I think
long
it's
for an animated.
216, but I don't. Yeah, it doesn't matter. It's still
Have
long.
the critics started seeing this? I mean, I'm sure there's.
Oh yeah. It's
they're loving it.
Beloved so far. I mean,
loving it.
Hey, 2 hours 20 minutes, broken the record for the longest animated movie by a major studio.
Yeah.
Wow.
I mean, it's obviously counting
There's a
credits and
caveat
all
of
that.
major
So
studio.
there's
but yeah,
caveats.
still-
And they throw the caveat of major studio in there.
Listen,
according to this
I didn't-
Collider,
I didn't absolutely love the movie. I thought it was fine. I liked it okay. But I do appreciate how ambitious it was. Like it was like they took great care in this. I mean, some of the technical things that you just mentioned, Garrison, I mean, it was approached very seriously, even if it, and Nate, you mentioned it earlier, there's some tongue-in-cheek stuff in it, but even that is approached very seriously. I mean, it's not just throwaway slop. It's not the not the MCU style comedy that's just low hanging fruit kind of stuff. Like it was pretty good humor.
That's
Lord and Miller.
It's all well thought out.
This movie
That's
is
Lord and Miller.
very much, even if it's not, I mean, I probably wouldn't rewatch it over and over. Like if I caught it on again at some point, I would watch it maybe, but I would not probably proactively go watch it again, because I kind of got what I needed to get out of it. But I didn't dislike it. I did enjoy it. It just is, as far as being the end all be all of Spider-Man movies or even animated movies, it did not do that for me. And I can't, I mean, prejudging going in, but I can't imagine the second one will do that for me either.
But you don't know.
Oh, you better not.
Transcend all
it's gonna
media.
change your life.
And maybe I'll come out just a changed person. I hope so.
You better get some potatoes and salsa ready to put on your crow, because you're going to be eating crow soon.
What were you going to say about Collider, Roth?
Yes, the previous longest animated movie, according to Collider, is Spaceship Battle Yamato Final Chapter from 1983, which was 163 minutes.
Oh, Spaceship Battle Yamato.
So that's
Also
why they
known
had
as
the caveat
Star
Major
Blazers.
Studio. Yeah, there's got to be some anime garbage that is that long.
What,
I mean,
what-
so-
what-
Wow, Mikey,
what's this?
wow.
What's this shade on anime all of a sudden? What
It's
the heck?
stinks.
It's nonsensical.
You know what?
crap.
No, it's
That's the
no.
problem.
You've got to find the right
You know
story.
what?
Which
I
no,
want.
I
by the
wanna
way,
see a film.
this new Spider-Man would surpass that length.
Oh,
'Cause
okay.
it's going to be
I thought you
180
said-
minutes.
Oh, I thought you. Okay.
I said
thought-
previously.
180 minutes.
Yeah, no,
3
140 minutes.
hours.
140 minutes.
140 minutes. So it wouldn't.
Lord of the
It
Rings.
It would not. It would not surpass.
It would not.
That's
I did
why they
bad
said.
math.
That's why they said
Major
Major
studio.
Studio.
I
They
did
had that
bad math.
caveat.
Shut up, Garrison.
Yeah,
You just graduated college. I haven't been in college in like 4 years.
Lord of the
All
Rings
right, here
was
we go. This
132.
is hey, breaking news! Breaking news right here from the chat. Lil
that
Wayne is
Scoop?
on the new soundtrack, and it's Lil Wayne.
Lil Wayne. No.
Lil Wayne.
Lil-
Wheezy
Lil.
baby.
He's a little baby. Lil Wayne.
Easy, baby.
He's going to be singing in, Spanish and Gaelic together for rapping in Spanish and Gaelic.
He's gonna be doing a little
I think Enya and
Morocco.
Pitbull have a duet.
Kenya and Pitbull.
What the fuck?
I do want to touch on something real quick. At the end
Yeah.
battle scene, one thing you see a lot is the spider web multiverse kind of shot of all these different universes that several
Right.
characters look into.
Yeah.
I imagine that's the Great Web, which is a part of the Spider-Verse comics, which shows that all these universes are linked and all this stuff. Yeah, I thought that was
it's
a
very
cool touch.
very multiversal in that case.
So it'll be
because
like everything
kinda-
everywhere all at
That's
once.
kind of how they've portrayed the multiverse. Whenever we're looking at it as an audience, it all looks connected.
Mhm. It's all
They,
connected.
they did that
Yeah.
in Loki, and they did that in a little bit in
I'm
Quantum.
so bored with
Yeah.
multiverse.
It's big, man. It's big. Oh yeah.
But this
Brian-
predated all that.
Brian made sure he wants me to do this. Sorry, I can't believe I didn't forget to do that. That's
What is the scoop? What do you
that's
just say?
Lil Wayne's on the soundtrack.
Oh.
Big scoop.
Oh.
That soundtrack is well on its way to being just as crappy as the first one. Sounds like.
No.
Oh.
No, I like the music for
What's
the
up,
most
Dave?
No,
part.
you didn't. Earl, quit it. You did not.
What?
You did not.
Earl loves it, man.
You did not. You did not like that soundtrack.
What?
You did not.
Did you
It
guys
worked.
notice
I
that
do like
Miles-
that song. I do
The
like that song.
Sunflower just absolutely pops. It does. I don't like
It
the
does.
flow,
Bop.
but it bops.
Oh, is that the
You guys
Post
notice-
Malone song? Where it's like,
Yes,
dun-dun-dun? I do like that song. Is that the
Yeah.
one in the Elemental? Or that's a different song in the Elemental preview or trailer? Where she's listening to something. I thought that was
Oh,
the
the
same
Disney
song,
movie Elemental? I don't
Yeah.
know.
which is not getting great reviews. by the way.
Sunflower was made specifically for this movie.
Yeah, it was the original
Oh.
song for the film.
Yeah.
Well, I
Did you
didn't know
notice
they did that
Miles
anymore.
Miles is mumbling it when he's singing it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They did that on purpose. They did that on purpose. I think they were talking about it in the commentary partially because it was a brand new song for the film.
Well, and they did
So-
some story stuff too with that, because didn't he say that's like how he focuses or how he ends up
Relaxes.
he
Yeah,
Yeah,
relaxes?
when he
yeah.
needed to relax, he
Yeah,
started singing it.
So they even incorporated it that way. So that's pretty cool.
Mhm.
All right.
Source music.
Yes,
Yes, source
that
music.
it is.
All right, let's do final thoughts because I don't want to be on here forever. So, so let's do final thoughts.
Well,
Rhett,
we
we'll
did.
just go in order as we began. Rhett.
Yeah, I mean, I'll see in the new one in a couple of days.
Yep,
I am, I am interested in it,
Mhm.
but I don't, I mean, the first one does not hold a special place in my heart, but
Okay.
I'll certainly see the second one. Yeah,
There you go. There you go. Just like Transformers: Rise of the Beast.
yeah, I'll see that one too.
You know you'll love it.
You know you'll love it.
I might.
Rhett
You
I
throws
can't
on
wait for that.
Unicron the entire
throw
film.
enough, it's like those Michael Bay Transformer. The designs are like what like what the inside of a woolly willy would look like in an electron microscope. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Oh, like the little magnet things.
Yeah, the
that
magnet face where you've got the little filaments
the woolly willy.
on the guy. Like that's like if you looked at that in a microscope, that's what the Transformers look like for microscope.
Very frantic. Yes.
There's a lot of twisting and turning.
I'll see Nate. Final thoughts on Into the Spider-Verse, and when are you seeing Across the Spider-Verse?
Oh man, this is a busy week. Wrapping up school and stuff. So hopefully this weekend, get a chance to see it. But yeah, I love the movie. It was a lot of fun. It's one that I went in with like real low expectations, and I think that probably helped going in with low expectations. So it just blew me away, and I think that it's just one of those ones that the more you watch it, the better it gets. I remember as soon as it was available to buy digitally, I bought it that day and probably watched it 3 times that first week.
Nice.
And then it's just, I don't know. There's a few movies that I just go back to over and over again, and this Mission Impossible 2 and Never Ending Story, all up there together.
The cutting edge for me.
The cutting edge, Topic.
That's my wife's favorite movie. I've watched it exactly 3/4 of the time. Speaking of which, today is actually my wedding anniversary, and I had forgotten.
Oh snap!
No, dude, no.
No, you did not forget.
So here I am.
I'm surprised you're not doing this from like your car
or
a motel room.
Literal doghouse.
Yeah.
Yikes. Wow.
Yep.
All right, man. Well, hey.
Sorry, Nick.
Content is king. Just tell your wife content is king. Content over everything.
Yeah, content over.
But honey, it's the guys. It's
The Deucecast will give you 10% of their earnings for your appearance.
Yeah.
So
Exactly. Wow. Garrison's in shock. It looks like
Ozzy. I could have pared down the history a bit more.
The damage is done.
Yeah, the wedding.
Yeah. What? It's like 10 o'clock over there. Oh no, you're central, aren't you?
That means it's 10 o'clock.
Yeah, it's like
it's
10:15.
Oh yeah. Okay. So, yeah. It's only the past in Roth's area of the country.
I too came into this film with really low expectations.
Okay.
I was never enthralled by the trailers. I didn't watch it until it came to home video, and I think my dad had watched it.
Oh, home video. So you watched it on VHS?
You go down to your movie gallery and rent it.
I don't have that. I don't have a movie gallery. Well, actually, Georgia might have.
When I watched it on streaming, sorry.
There you go.
Because I guess I bought the Blu-ray and got the digital copy or whatever. I don't know, however I got it. And I really enjoyed it. I really enjoyed the character moments a lot in this film. I thought the multiverse stuff was really well done. People think we've gone too far with the multiverse stuff in the movies, and I got to tell you, you should read some comics if you think the movies have gone too far.
I mean, that's the problem. Yeah, I mean, and I think they
multiverse
will.
fatigue. Yeah.
I think that's already happening, and it's crazy because you haven't really been doing the multiverse that long, and people are already tired of it. I mean, that's a problem.
Comics audiences and movie audiences are two very different groups.
Very
there is some
different.
overlap, but they are not all the same. So what you can get away with in comics over the course of a decade or a year, looking at years worth of story, you cannot do that with a movie. Not the same way. I mean, the MCU managed it for 10 years, but the multiverse stuff, people don't connect with that. And like comic book people do. So
I'm going to be 100% honest. I think they would connect with it better if the movies were better.
Well, that's sure. Yeah, I think so.
I don't think people would be going, I have fatigue of this thing if the movie.
But not all those comics were great either. But the comics people kind of stick with them through thin and thin. Moviegoers are not that way. They're a lot more fickle and kind of transient, Look, and once you lose them, you're gone. They're gone.
Crisis on Infinite Earths has some of maybe the most speech bubbles I've ever read in a comic, and they are gigantic. And you're just like, oh my goodness, let's move
Too
on.
Much. Yeah. Roth, final thoughts.
Awesome movie. It's it's not an original movie, but it feels very original and new and close to something that isn't really like it's still in this Marvel universe and uses characters that we know, but it feels like something we hadn't seen before when it came out.
That's good.
Whether it was just the animation style or whatever it was that made it feel that way, I really appreciate that. I have great hope for this next one. I haven't bought my tickets yet, but I'll probably go see it on Thursday. That's the benefit of living in a town that there's not that many people in. You can buy tickets whenever.
Yeah, you don't have to scramble like
don't have any nerds, and so you can just
true
story. I had
the high school kids and the comic book nerd, like Simpsons guy comic book nerd people there.
Yeah,
so it'll be fun.
I had totally forgotten about the on sale date for this one, and so we're not in our usual seats, and it's totally my fault because I'd forgotten about. Yeah, no, we're not straight center because I'd forgotten about it.
Yeah, we're over on the right, Earl.
I know we're back into the left now. I'm just we're
that'll right, get me closer to run down the aisle if my bladder explodes.
So. Yeah, you can get out more quickly.
My old man bladder may need to.
Your old man bladder.
He runs 220. After about 145, Earl's like, "Ooh, I gotta get out of here."
Well, guys, I gotta get up. Gotta go.
I gotta see a man about a horse.
That's right.
I have to go powder my nose.
Yeah, boys.
Speaking of, Oppenheimer tickets do go on sale Thursday. So
tomorrow.
Be prepared.
Oh, is it
Thursday.
Yeah, you're right.
I think they go on sale
June
Thursday. 1. June 1. Yeah. Dr. Earl, final thoughts on this film?
Yeah. So I enjoyed it. I thought it was a fresh take. I probably still like No Way Home a little better. I mean, if I had to take the two.
If you're comparing Spider-Man films, yeah.
I like my Peter Parker story.
You like your Peter Parker alive.
Yes, I like my Parkers. But yeah, Zimpio 6 hours. Hey man, I'll have a catheter in, Brian. It's okay.
Yeah, exactly.
No, that's usually a 3-hour movie, not this.
It's gonna be Oppenheimer.
No, I'm excited. I'm looking forward to this next chapter. I mean, I thought it was a very artistic take. Seeing it again really made me even like it more. I agree with Aussie Nate about that. Honestly, I'd forgotten like 90% of the. I was like, oh yeah, like I said, I'd forgotten about the uncle. That whole plot point. I remembered the 5 multiverse characters, but I just had forgotten and Kingpin, but I had forgotten the whole thing with that. So it was good to just sort of go back through it. But yeah, looking forward to it.
Yeah,
Michael,
I think it was a really cool way to introduce Miles Morales on the screen.
It really was. Yeah,
it's the best way to have done.
Yeah. Now, I would, not knowing anyone that is like a huge Miles Morales fan, like I don't know anyone personally, I would be interested to see if they were mad about it not being a live action Miles Morales versus an animated Miles Morales. Now, I'm sure that they could bring Shameik Moore in and do a live action thing with him, but
he's a little too old though, isn't he?
He is older, yeah.
I think a Miles Morales fan would respond to you and say that they were more mad about Genki being cut from the film, or his role reduced in the film. His roommate, Genki,
the roommate,
is the guy in the chair,
the Asian dude,
basically plays the Ned role in the.
Okay.
They probably couldn't do that because Ned has such a big part.
Well,
right. And it'd just be a little too
derivative, yeah.
Yeah.
He's in the alternate universe cut majorly, and it just drags the film. That's really what it does.
Oh, is he really? Okay.
Oh, he's in that cut. Okay, interesting.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, it's almost like it's a cameo in this. Basically,
it works better that Miles is kind of still alone in that world. He's still by himself. Even with a roommate, he's by himself.
Shameik Moore's only 28.
Well, yeah, but Miles
is supposed to be a teenager, right? He's supposed to be young.
At origin, yeah. Well, you could.
He's part. I mean, yeah, he's part Hispanic.
You could get away with that.
You got to check some boxes. You cannot have your Latino character
no.
played by a Latino actor.
Latinx.
Oh my gosh, no!
Stop it.
Oh
my gosh.
No, I'm married to a Cuban. They do not. Only white women use that word.
Yes, you can come by yours legit.
Yeah,
Garrison.
it's not a normal
He's
word.
writing.
Wait,
You look like what's
he's-
that little? What's that character with the nose over the piece of paper?
Kilroy.
Kilroy. Yeah, he looked like Kilroy for a second. With his
No. What happened was
Kilroy.
the first thing that came to my mind was that someone on Twitter would complain that Shameik Moore wasn't Hispanic, and then Rhett said it, and I was like, oh no.
Well, no, there's truth to it.
Like you
Well,
can't-
I mean,
to it.
it's a big deal that character has Hispanic heritage.
You're right.
Here-
You're right.
Mhm.
It sort of is, but he's always portrayed as skin tone wise, he's portrayed as pretty black.
That's
He's
true.
black Latino.
Not really
I know,
mixed.
I get it.
And
He is Hispanic, and you cannot.
yeah,
I mean, his mother is Hispanic, right? And
Right.
yeah.
you cannot. You gotta
We'll
have both.
I
you gotta
think
play
that,
both
look,
worlds.
I feel like that's something you can. I don't know. I don't really
I
want
think
to
that
talk
they
about it.
will, if they ever do a live action. I bet Shameik Moore is going to be portrayed as
No.
Miles Morales.
No,
I think so.
they'll get it.
That's
They'll
how
get a
you
young
want it.
guy that's.
I think it will be much younger though, for sure.
Yeah, they'll
I don't
pick
know.
somebody.
Yeah, I mean,
Let's see. The only person on
They're
here that
gonna
has
they're going to get. I mean, at that age, if they're going to get Andrea from Beverly Hills 90210 to play Mary Jane, good grief, he's too old to be.
very
Not a
90s
2-1.
reference of you, right?
Michael, what did you?
I was just gonna say the only person that has any real plugs in here is Roth. So plug your stuff, Roth.
plug away.
Okay.
That's
Roth
what-
from Wyoming, Instagram, Twitter, Letterboxd. The Good Day for a Movie podcast is the podcast. We just did Star Trek: The Motion Picture, which was a heaping pile of crap.
I listened
That
to
movie
that.
sucked.
I
That
listened
movie
to that.
sucked.
So
And I openly invite any Star Trek fan to come on and debate us, but that movie sucked.
yeah, well, you're not far off the mark on that. But
It doesn't suck. No, it does have that guy, that child molester in it, right?
Yes, it does.
Yeah, it does have
Very
that.
prominently.
That was before we knew.
Yeah,
that
we
was
didn't-
Collins. Yeah, we didn't
Married to
know.
Faye Grant too. I had a major crush on Faye Grant back in the V
Oh,
days.
Persis Kambata. Oh my goodness, with the bald head.
May she
Jacob,
rest in peace.
Yes.
If you want a great Star Trek film, Star Trek Generations.
No,
Stop.
no, Wrath of Khan. Don't sit him down that.
I
path.
will say, I
Good
said it
Lord.
in the podcast, but like this movie being so bad makes me want to watch the rest in hopes that they're all this bad. And I
No,
can just
no.
Wrath of Khan
absolutely
is-
dunk on
Wrath of
Star
Khan
Trek
is-
fans
This one
Wrath
right
of
here.
Khan
for
is
being
brilliant.
nerds.
I don't care what Steve Glosson says. Wrath of Khan is way better than Search for Spock.
It's great.
I don't
Yeah, it
care
is.
what.
Yeah.
Ricardo Montalban, he's not exactly Jason
Cack.
Momoa in Fast X, but he's got that kind of just the
Yeah.
command of the screen.
Yeah.
Yeah,
like he
it's
does.
one of the first scenery chewing bits I remember seeing when I was young.
Yeah.
They spent 20 minutes docking a rowboat in space
Yeah,
and
I
for no
Jacob, I
reason,
warned
for
you.
the stupidest worst
I-
shot.
It worked then. You have to like they.
Yeah, that was the
Star Trek
70s.
fan. That was like orgasmic for them.
Also,
they
the
wanted to see
Enterprise-
ship like that.
the Enterprise is an ugly ship. That ship sucks.
hey,
Oh, how
whoa,
dare
whoa,
you.
whoa.
How
That ship
dare
is
you.
so
Get this guy outta
stupid.
here.
The
There's
refit
nothing
looks better.
to
The
it.
refit is better, but that's
Cancel
not,
him.
That
Cancel
ship's
him,
not
Michael.
terrible.
No, it's stupid. There's nothing to it. It's a couple circles. It's lame.
Get this guy out of here.
So, I was listening to your pod. Oh wow! I actually
Go
listened
ahead.
to this episode, and
Oh, I know, because you wanted to know what Sage thought. I know you listen because you always want to know
Oh.
what Sage is going to think.
Oh my goodness! Yeah, that's a whole other thing. But no, you guys were like asking like, what's the deal with the Voyager? It had just launched like in like
Mhm.
76
Oh,
or
really?
78. So that's why that was so
Mhm.
fresh
It
to
was
use.
I
very
it.
like that
prevalent.
part of it. That
Yeah,
part
yeah.
worked. And I think it worked
Yeah.
for all of us. But the just establishing after establishing after establishing after establishing after
A lot of
establishing
establishing
shot was
stuff.
just
Yeah.
I think they thought they were trying
Oh.
to going
Building
towards
jumping
2001
is what
would
makes them
be
ex-
yeah.
I want
Yeah,
to do
it was
that.
it was paced a lot like 2001.
2001,
Very Kubrick-esque.
But it wasn't as
Kubrickian.
risky and artistic
Oh,
as
no, no,
2001.
of course.
2001's a fantastic movie.
Look, was that ILM? That was ILM, right?
Probably at the
Dykstra
time.
broke away from ILM.
Yeah.
if you remember.
It
All right.
was still
Yeah.
Well, they were
ILM.
they
Yeah.
were very proud of those effects, and
Yeah.
there's I mean, they're
Black
pretty.
Hole.
They hold up pretty well. I mean, those were really beauty
Black
shots.
Hole.
It's all relative, but those are beauty shots. And yeah, I get it. I mean, from a pacing standpoint, it's not what we have today. But that's how movies were back then.
Garrison?
For sure. I mean,
Black Hole.
I've seen a lot of 70s movies, so I get the pacing thing. But there's a difference between
it's slow.
boring, no reason for this, like
I get it.
Pacing where like
they were
nothing's
almost
happening.
Celebrating, like the return of the ship. It was like,
Yeah,
let's
it was
just
very
keep
much a
flying
character.
around.
Also,
the ship
Spock
was
in
the
this
character.
movie sucked. Spock in that movie was awful. He was a terrible character with no development, and
Oh, we're sorry, Nate.
Just
We
a
know
loser.
your marriage is in jeopardy. And
I'm just waiting for us to get to Into Darkness.
So we're just gonna go through the whole history of.
Lord.
The Little Prince is
I'm
the
gonna
next
defend-
episode, though,
I'm
and
gonna
that was a good
defend-
movie.
I am
I'm
looking
gonna-
forward to hearing you. I do like the Little Prince, and
That's
I
a
look
good
forward
movie.
to. But
Very
you're
good
talking
movie.
about the more recent Netflix animated Little Prince, right?
Yeah, was there another one?
Oh yeah, that's
the original.
that's- yeah, there's an original.
Well, there's
an
original
live
book.
action.
Wow, this
There's
is
a
going
live
all kind of
action.
directions.
Oh, I
I
didn't
think
know
that
about it.
Isn't there a live action? Or
No,
am I thinking of something
no.
else?
Is that the Little Princess you're talking about, or
Oh, maybe the Little Princess.
Isn't
but it's
that-
the same story.
a thing? Okay.
I think it's the same story.
a
They
thing,
just
right?
gender swapped. I
I-
can't remember.
I got to be honest. I did research looking for it, and there's
there not?
not. There's,
With
this is
what's
the
her
only.
favorite? Feruza Balk? No, maybe I'm thinking about something else.
There
think
is
you're
a
thinking
Little
of something
Princess
else.
movie, but
This
I
is
don't
A
know.
little.
this is based on a book from a
yeah,
1940s
Yeah.
like French pilot.
right.
Yes,
It's a
yes, exactly.
children's book.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's from 74. 74 is the original.
74.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Isn't it?
Yeah. Michael's
Yeah.
right here.
It doesn't pop up at all.
I don't know how. It's
I like
rare.
the way Rhett
but-
says that. Yeah, Michael's right here.
Yeah. This
Wow.
time.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
we did not review this one. This one looks the 2015 animated is fantastic.
It has the two styles of animation in it.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. The,
What? Were we
what
not
in the
ending
world
the
is
show?
this?
Oh, 74
Wait.
looks scary.
Stanley Donen directed it, who
Donen, I
also
think.
directed,
The charade.
Charade, Singing in the Rain. I mean,
Mm.
come on now. He's got some pedigree.
Singing in the rain.
Don't
Uh,
scoff at Little Prince from
I'm
Stanley.
kind of
Yeah.
scoffing at Little Prince from 1974.
You shouldn't. The director, come on now. The director.
It's like really slow. They show a ship docking, like the plane flying across.
You may have been thinking
Right up
about
my
the
alley.
little Princess. That's from 1939. That's Shirley Temple.
Oh, that's right.
There's a,
Yeah.
Yeah.
awesome. That was very
I think
Doctor
Little
Who.
Prince.
I think you guys should review 1974 version.
I think so too. I think it's
We've
not
already
too late.
recorded this episode, but
Oh, dang it! It's. I was gonna
this
say,
may
it's not
be a
too
future
late.
pick for me. I don't know. That's
Okay,
great.
so I think we are trying to end it. So, Aussie Nate,
Yeah,
where can
sorry.
people find you on the internet?
At Aussie_Nate on Twitter. Same at Letterboxd, I
Letterboxd.
think.
Yep.
Discord.
Discord for life.
Yeah, that's right.
That's right.
Aussie Nate, where are
Garrison-
you staying tonight? Do you need a,
Yeah,
place
exactly.
to
Do you
stay?
need us to Venmo you any?
I've got a nice couch out here.
Say,
Maybe my classroom.
was this at least like how many? This wasn't like a big one, right? This wasn't like a 10-year
20
thing.
years.
This was 14. So
Ooh, you're
I'm-
lucky it
I'm-
wasn't 15.
Yeah.
You're lucky it wasn't. You dodged a bullet there.
this is going to cost me a cruise next year, I think.
Yeah, you may have
Probably. Yep, probably. You should try and book the Galactic Star Cruiser before September.
Ooh.
hurry.
Maybe that should be. Yeah.
You gotta
I think that would
hurry,
make
Tina.
things worse.
I was gonna
It
say
might be
that sounds like
good.
a great anniversary gift for his wife. That sounds like an anniversary gift for him.
That's-
There are people that do that.
oh, I'm sure.
I got my wife
Garrison, where
PlayStation 5.
You can find me on Twitter at grifen3 GRYFUN3 on Instagram as well. You can find me at Letterboxd at grifen. There's a character played by Andy Samberg coming up in Across the Spider-Verse, which is Ben
Yes.
Riley. Ben Riley
Yes.
is
Oh,
the
Ben
clone-
Riley.
Ben Riley is the clone of Peter Parker as well as Kane.
What is he now if
who
he's
is
Ben
another
Riley?
clone. Huh?
What is he now if he's Ben Riley?
I see what you did. I see what you did there. Do not mess with Garrison when he's in the middle of.
I would implore you to look up
I'm
the
reading the
crazy. look up the crazy history of the Clone Saga, just the whole editorial issues behind the scenes, and literally sales went up and then they went way down by the end of that series because it was such a crap show. Yeah,
interesting. Well,
but that character's been redeemed in
he's in Spider-Man right now. Yeah,
he's Chasm now in the comics. He's a
Chasm,
villain. Yeah.
I'm reading this.
Who's Pete Davidson voicing? Because he's in everything. He's got to be voicing somebody.
I don't know of a Pete. He's in Transformers next.
I think he's
week.
only in Taco Bell.
That's what I'm saying. He's in everything, so I don't know exactly.
Hey, dude just sold out 8 shows in Huntsville, Alabama here in a few weeks.
What?
I mean,
he's doing 8 shows, sold them out.
That dude doesn't need SNL anymore.
Yeah, he really doesn't, probably.
No.
Dr. Earl cannot be found anywhere on the internet except the Deucecord.
Always there. Always hanging
except
out.
When
I'm
Deucecord.
not. Actually, I'm not.
Rhett, where can people find you right now?
Probably at a hot dog place.
Yes,
I can get there. That's where I go every day.
Well, I appreciate the chat tonight. We had Brian hanging out, Matt for a little while.
Hey,
always makes it much more fun for us if you guys hang out in the chat, even if you haven't even seen the film like Brian. So I appreciate you guys hanging out the whole time. Just about. We will definitely be back. Maybe this same exact crew, if Aussie Nate is still with us on this plane. On this mortal plane, then yes, maybe this same exact crew will be back next week for Across the Spider-Verse, our roundtable. It will be on Tuesday again because June is packed and there's a movie pretty much every Thursday, so that's why we're doing Tuesdays.
Yes,
for the month of June until we get to Secret Invasion, and which we'll still do Tuesdays, obviously there as well. And tomorrow. We have the Deucecast Fanboy Summer is kicking off tomorrow with Jonathan Heil. We had a really fun episode with Jonathan talking about comedians who do dramatic roles. So it was a fun conversation.
Pete Davidson.
Oh, Pete Davidson. I'm so tired of him. But yeah, like I said, we'll be back next week. Really appreciate everybody watching. Everybody go see Across the Spider-Verse before Tuesday so you can hang out with us here and talk about the movie. Have a good night, everybody.